Let's talk about the death of the desktop PC today. With everything going on with Microsoft and TPM chips and CPU requirements, there's massive shortages globally. There's something that we need to talk about before all this happened, before all the craziness in the world of 2020 and then leading up to this year. Well, desktop PC usage has been on the decline. And it's not that just desktop PCs have been declining. It's that it has been going this direction for some time, pretty much ever since the advent of the tablet and the phone. It's so much easier just to grab one of these and just do what you need to do. You need to do banking? Well, do it on the mobile app. It's actually a lot more secure than most computers are, because computers are easily compromised, where these ecosystems are a little more secure and locked down. So the main issue with all this is not only the shortages going on, but the fact that PCs really don't serve much of a purpose anymore, other than maybe line of business applications for doing your accounting and some other niche things. Most times, we don't really even need any of these things to do what we need to get done in our personal lives, where I think you go back 10, 15 years and everybody had a computer. But these days, well, that just doesn't exist anymore. You have mainly everyone using their mobile phones for everything, and then for the things they can't do, they just use their work computer or other things. I can't tell you how many people we've had hired at my main job where they come in and they don't have a laptop, they don't have a regular desktop PC. I mean, desktop PCs in general are just a dying thing. I can't tell you the last normal person, not obviously a computer guy like myself, that actually has a desktop PC. How many of those actually get sold anymore? Do you even see them in like maybe a Best Buy, but like Costco and Walmart and Target? They really don't carry too many anymore. And I think the main reason to this is because people don't want to deal with this stuff. If you go back 10, 15 years to the XP era, before even Windows 7, I made a ton of money. It would be probably uncommon for me to have a sub $2,000 day where I would be billing out anywhere between $150 and $250 to remove viruses from a computer. That was like the golden era of residential computer repair. But when you look back on that time, that was very normal for anybody repairing computers back then. And people would be spending upwards of $1,000 just to repair 4 or 5 PCs. That's nuts. You could buy a whole brand new computers. Hell, you could buy 2 or 3 new computers in today's dollars, which is inflated to say the least. It's just, that's how it's become. So you couple all this in with the cheap nature of PCs and the fact nobody even wants to use them being basically disposable now, to where many people, if they get really badly infected, it's basically just toss it. And then on top of that, you have these ridiculous requirements for like Windows 11 now, where they want like 8th gen processors, which I'm sure they're already walking back from Microsoft, and I'm sure that's not going to be the case on launch. But it should be noted that they thought they could get away with this. Like, who's gonna do that doesn't already have that processor? It's just crazy to me. So what's the future hold is really, at the end of this, is where do we go from here? Or is this just completely the death of the desktop era? And the answer to this question is yes, it is the death of the desktop era. Obviously, people like myself, and probably you watching this video, are still using desktops to some extent. But just know that we are in the very, very slight minority of this general population as a whole. And it's on the decline, more towards the mobile space. You can see, you can see this just from being a YouTuber, where if I make a mobile video, that's gonna do considerably better than a targeted just computing video, which is ridiculous because that's not even my genre or niche. And that's just because more people have mobile phones. And that's also why you see probably the best example of this I can think of is the Blizzard, hey, you have mobile phones, right? When they launched the Diablo Immortal or whatever that crappy game was on your phone, because they saw the market and said, hey, 6 billion people or whatever, it's some ridiculous number that are mobile users compared to those desktop gaming users. That's just kind of where things are, which is kind of nuts to me, that's where we are. But it should be noted that that's just kind of how things are in today's world. And I miss the desktop era. I still love gaming on a PC, but seeing the graphics card shortages, them jacking up prices from the crypto mining to the TPM scalping, you know, all these things have just set the stage for basically desktop PCs to be forgotten. And that breaks my damn heart to say. Now, before you go, I want to show you this graph. This is from the desktop OSs. You can see the steady decline of Windows as people have just gotten tired of viruses, constant updating, and then the maintenance that goes into maintaining it. You can see Mac OS has climbed up because it's a very consistent experience, and then every other operating system's pretty much remained the same. So you really don't have anything else in this realm. And even in the Mac Windows realm, you can see steady declines in this past year. And that just kind of goes to show what's happening with the desktop OS market. Some people say, hey, Linux is going to take off, or this is going to be the year of the Linux desktop and all these other things. I just want to say, I don't think any of this is ever going to happen. We're going to see the death of the desktop, and everyone's going to lose out on the desktop market share because no one's going to care about it. It's everything's moving to a different space, which is, like I said, depressing. To me, I think really that future lies in that blend between mobile and desktop and seeing more of computer functions hit the mobile space and us be able to do a lot more with mobile. Because right now, Android and iOS are very lacking. You've pretty much stretched and done all the things you can do with them. But I would really like to see docking. You can see like Samsung DeX and some other things where people have taken this idea and started to do something with it, but it's just not quite there. And I've been touching on it with like Ubuntu Touch and some of those videos I've been going through. It's been good. It's been good. I've started to see that connect. And I think really the future is somewhere in between here where we can get a lot of the desktop functionality and power in a little tiny phone like this. That would be awesome. And that's kind of where I hope things go from here. And with that, I'm going to leave you on this note. Death of desktop PC has pretty much already happened. We've already seen kind of what's happened, and it's going to just push more people out of the space. But I still think the future is bright because we have mobile's unrecognized potential to do a lot of the things that desktop does that just hasn't really done it yet. And right now, mobile's just kind of like hanging out, gobbling up all the market share, but it still has so much further to go before I can go, oh, I can do all my stuff I do on my desktop on my mobile device. It'd be cool. And I'd love to have like a dock for it. But again, the future, I think, is there, for me at least. How about for you? And with that, I'll see you in the next one.